Hey y'all, so here I'm gonna up pot my second round of tomatoes for outdoors. I try to keep a succession of plants coming a few months behind, maybe plant some new plants every 4 to 8 weeks, just in case something happens to the other plants, whether it's weather, the bugs or pest infection, disease, or forgetting to water, whatever it is, I don't want to lose my plants, so I want to have backups to improve my odds of having a good harvest. Now, a lot of these I've already planted. Everything didn't come up. I had the pineapple tomatillo. Nothing came up on that, but I do have 2 ground cherries outside already. But I'm going to drop some more seeds for the tomatillo, the pineapple tomatillo or ground cherry. You can really never go wrong with the beefsteak. It has an awesome, very good looking root ball down there, not overgrown or not root bound at all. But beefsteaks are of course, they're like a staple, an all-around good tomato to have. I like these clear cups because they're large and also because you can see their roots. Now the clear cups are 16 ounces and the colored cups are 18 ounces. So that there's a small reservoir at the bottom where water pools and where it can drain. The excess water can drain, and then the roots also grow through the holes eventually to access that water. But by then, they should definitely have been up potted or moved outdoors. As you can see, I'm planting them all a little deep to increase the root production on the stem because the stem grows roots wherever it's buried, and that will make for a stronger plant. And since these are clear, I can kind of check them every now and again to see if I need to go ahead and get them moved outdoors. I'm definitely making a mess here on my dining room table. I have a plastic cover over it, but I want to create a dedicated space for gardening, like a little workstation for specifically for up potting, preferably outdoors. So I'm still working on that though. I'm generally trying to bury them pretty deep just so the roots can develop on the stems to make a stronger plant, like I said, because a lot of them are flopped over a little bit. I don't think they're leggy, they're just tall and they need to be up potted. They're really ready to be outdoors at this point, but I don't have anywhere prepared to put them. So I'm just gonna put them in these cups and just give myself another week or two to decide what I'm gonna do with them, where I'm gonna put them. And also another benefit of having excess plants is I can share. So if friends or family want some plants or need some plants, I'm gonna check around with my friends who do garden and see if anybody needs any plants. Because I have a plenty. Much better to have too many than too few in my book. Now I did start gardening with the purpose of, my first motive was to grow watermelon because I was tired of I felt like I've been being cheated because every time I got a watermelon, it wasn't good. They just weren't good. The store-bought watermelons. You'd be lucky if you find a good one. And watermelons aren't cheap. I bought watermelons for as much as $10, and it'd be a nasty watermelon. Over like eating just water, or a little salty, no sweetness to it. Some of them have a weird consistency like they've been frozen. So that's what led me to growing my own stuff, but I wanted to grow more than watermelon. And I had always had it in my back of my mind to grow food or to start a garden eventually because my stepdad had a garden while we were growing up. I do have a little bit of a backlog on my videos, quite a bit actually. I am going to get around to getting to those. It's been kind of busy. It's been taking a long time to get my videos to transfer from my phone to my tablet using AirPlay. It used to be almost instant that they would sync, but now I have to manually do it, and it could take hours to do it sometimes because it keeps failing. Or I'll have to remove things and delete things. And anyway, it's just real frustrating just getting the video from my phone to my tablet so I can edit it. I've also been having a lot of issues with my health, like trying to figure out with getting myself healthier because my blood pressure has been consistently very high to the point where I'm medicating for that. and trying to make some lifestyle changes to get myself off of that as soon as possible. I don't think it's all lifestyle related. I know I have a kind of a heavy workflow at work, so that causes stress. I also just lost one of my bio parents, my dad, my biological dad. Now I was raised by my stepdad from age 1, but I mean, I still love my dad and my biological dad. And it did come as a shocker. You know, you never expect, I don't know, you just always think you have more time. And he was only in his 60s, so it just surprised me. I just always thought there was more time. And of course, I know that has affected me, my blood pressure. I don't know if it's necessarily stress, just the grief and sadness. I don't know, just part of the mourning process. Make sure you love on all those you love as much as possible, as often as possible. I'm definitely finding some relief, some joy in getting back to doing gardening stuff. Although it's been raining so much here, I haven't been out much in the garden, and I haven't gotten things situated as much as I like for them to be outdoors because of the rain and also my ongoing back situation. Although I'm getting a handle on that, and it seems to be more of a, I had physical therapy for 3 months last year, and now I'm kind of going into doing more full body stretches and also getting more cardio. And I still have my weights, but working on doing something to get myself in better shape so I won't be constantly injuring my back, so I can get my garden how it needs to be. Because I didn't have this problem that first year I started gardening, when I moved so much stuff in 2020 when I first set the garden up. So it's really frustrating now to feel like I can't hardly do anything. But the garden teaches you patience, so I know I'll get it done. And I mean, I've got it done. I've gotten a lot done anyway already. And I'm potting these, and even though they're staying indoors, I still have a place in the space for them, so I can keep doing what I need to do to keep my garden thriving and producing for this year and every year moving forward. Because even though I started as a hobby, I'm definitely sold on growing my own food as much as possible. I want to, for the savings and also for knowing what's in my food. And of course, homegrown tastes better. Fresh tastes better. It's just better than what you get in the store, where the produce may have traveled halfway across the world, been on ice, or completely frozen and injected with who knows what. It just cannot compare to fresh food straight out the garden. Now, I did used to be a vegetarian a long time ago now. I think it's exactly 10 years ago when I changed my diet. I ain't looking to go back to being a vegetarian. I mean, I did it before for almost 5 years. I was an ethical vegetarian. It was like a boycott against the industry and how they treat the animals. So it wasn't like, oh, I don't want to eat an animal, or I don't think people should eat animals. So that's why I try to buy organic as much as I can, free range, just food that hasn't been tortured all of its existence. Because I think, eating stuff, there's probably no science to it, but I'm sure there's something in the energy. If something's been miserable all its life and then you consume it, I mean, you are what you eat. There is a white layer of either fungus or mold on the top of the soil, which definitely can attract gnats. And I did have gnats, but I think they were more actually attracted to some bananas I had, because as soon as I got rid of those, I froze them. I haven't seen as many gnats. Now here you can kind of see the little fuzzy hairs on the stem of the tomato. Those all turn into roots. Those little bumps are what the roots look like when they form above ground, and they can get really bumpy and rough looking. Look kind of like scales to me. Now when I first saw roots growing above ground on the stems and branches on a tomato plant, I definitely thought something was wrong with it. Like I said, it looks like scales. It looks like a disease because the bumps could be kind of big. But as far as I know, that doesn't mean anything's wrong with the plant. I realized I needed an extra cup because of that extra plant in the one. I put 2 seeds in each of these, but one of them apparently had 3 seeds. And now I'm running out of soil. I do take off the leaves before I bury them. Some people I've seen haven't done it, but I take them off because I don't want the plant to be confused and be attempting to repair those leaves that are still attached to it while they're buried. So I just take it off. And then that plant can use the energy that would have been wasted on those leaves to generate new roots and maybe even leaves to make a stronger plant. I was just showing some of the debris I find in the soil, mostly sticks, but it really isn't much. All right, I'm gonna go and make some more soil. And by make some soil, I mean I'm just gonna pour some hot boiling water on it and let it cool off for at least an hour. So this is over an hour later. And I'm gonna go ahead and pot these 3 plants. I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to separate those 2 that are right next to each other. It must have been accident, maybe two seeds were connected to each other, and that's how I accidentally got 2 in that one spot. So it's a bonus plant, which is always nice. It'll be an extra plant for me or extra plant for someone. Now, I've never grown these before. I just thought they looked interesting, so I wanted to try them. I wanted to try more. I just wanted to try more things. I want to experiment more and try different things and figure out what I like growing. Figure out what can grow successfully in my garden and what I like to grow. All right, so I'm gently prying these apart, but only a little tiny bit of root ball is attached to this. So this is really gonna be an experiment. I think it's gonna make it, but we'll see. Because tomatoes are really resilient. I mean, they're as resilient as weeds, in my opinion. They probably win in a fight with weeds. So definitely one of the easier plants to grow if you're getting started. Now, there's really no magic or mystery to growing your own food. Most of these plants want to grow. Now, there are some that have special requirements, so you have to look into that for each seed. Sometimes, like echinacea and lavender, they require chill hours, and just different plants. Some of them may need light to germinate. So there is some research involved sometimes if you're having trouble, but most of the time, you put seeds in the dirt and they'll grow. I forgot how to spell that, so. I am watering them all just a little bit. The soil is damp. Like I said, I put hot boiling water on it and let it sit to cool off. So it's not dry soil. But I do still put a little bit of water in them each. Tomatoes are generally very thirsty plants, and that's a quick way to lose them by not watering them. So make sure you keep your tomatoes watered. It may sometimes be every single day, and that'll affect your production too and the growth of the plant if it's not getting enough water or sun or nutrients. You may need to fertilize. Just you learn by experience and experimenting. All right, so I put everything on my shelving unit over here, and you can see it's getting very, very crowded. So these and many more things need to be making their way outdoors ASAP. All right, y'all, thanks for watching.